and the Catholic Church just kind of lost a lot of power in Ireland.
Oh my God, he's actually saying that Father Ted... God, I can't believe it.
So I thought in Ireland I would be at least understood and listened out.
Right. Here's what he's saying. He's admitting, he's going, I have delusions of grandeur, and I thought that people in Ireland would believe those delusions of grandeur. I think that I was hoping that people in Ireland would also be delusional and excuse my bigotry. This is crazy. What the fuck is he talking about? Father Ted creator Graham Linehan arrested at Heathrow Airport over gender critical... Sorry, it's very funny. Father Ted creator Graham Linehan arrested at Heathrow Airport over gender critical tweets. Now, LBC doing some more horrific passive voice shit here. Forget the Father Ted creator shit. Yeah, he created Father Ted, but also so did another guy who apparently did most of the jokes, right? And you can tell that when you look at the IT crowd, which Graham Linehan also created, and it's like pretty good, but not as good as Father Ted. Graham Linehan was arrested at Heathrow over transphobic threats. Like real threats of violence. He's not a shell of what he used to be. He's a wet bag of shit. Just everything got worse. Like so much worse. He just started to like morph into the most evil and unhinged man of all time. Extremely divorced. The actual story is that he tweeted, if a trans-identified male, what he means here is a trans woman, is in a female-only space, she is committing a violent, abusive act. Make a scene, call the cops, and if all else fails, punch her in the balls. Now, first of all, not all trans women are gonna have balls. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy that you don't know that enough about this, right? It's crazy that you like refuse to know as much as like other people about it. It's just crazy shit. Anyway, this is calling for violence against one of the most marginalized people in society. I know there was a picture of a trans rally with the caption of a photo you can smell. I mean, he's projecting there, right? Because it's bad to see. Whenever anyone mentions Glinner, I always remember that one picture of him where he looks like he's cummed all down his pants. He's so fucking greasy. You know he isn't showering. And it's like, come on, man. I know that some people don't shower, and I feel sorry for him, but not for you, because you are stinky and gross and a fascist. The third was a follow-up tweet which said, I hate misogynists and homophobes. Fuck them. I mean, he's not going to be referring to misogynists and homophobes there, is he? He's going to be referring to people who stand up for trans people. He said he was questioned and released on bail with a bail condition that he must not go on Twitter. He will die. I genuinely believe this will kill him. He also said that after being checked by a nurse while in custody, his blood pressure had reached stroke territory. And he was escorted to A&E where he spent 8 hours under observation. Describing his arrest on his blog, Linehan wrote, the moment I stepped off the plane at Heathrow, 5 armed police officers were waiting. That's so funny. Not 1, not 2, 5. They escorted me to a private area and told me I was under arrest. Extremely critical support to these 5 lice. I was arrested at an airport like a terrorist. You were right. You act like a terrorist. You cause fear to a marginalized community and try and influence political direction on an issue related to those people. That is actually a definition. That is shit that fits the terrorist definition more cleanly than Palestine actionists. Imagine if not being on Twitter is all it takes for him to stop being transphobic. No, it'll give him a stroke, and that'll be funny as hell. If he from a stroke for not being able to post, I would probably also from laughing. Yes, he also encourages, this is literally encouraging stochastic terrorism. That kind of terrorism where people get mad because they see posts on the internet and then they do hate crimes. A spokesman for the Met Police said on Monday, 1st September at 1300 hours, officers arrested a man in Heathrow Airport after he arrived on an inbound American Airlines flight. Wait, he was coming from America? Oh my God, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. Oh my God, this is after his Joe Rogan show. He went to America to be transphobic with Joe Rogan, and then he came back and just got arrested immediately. That's That's so funny. He has now been bailed pending further investigation. Yeah, okay. West faced a trial at Westminster Magistrates Court on Thursday this week over 2 separate charges. He's getting to so many different levels of facing state prosecution because of his stochastic terrorism. He was harassing Sophia Brooks, a trans person, on social media. I mean, they're saying a transgender activist here, and it's like, that's very similar to trans rights activist, which is what TERFs call trans people, just people who stand up for trans people's rights. Sophia Brooks on social media, and another of damaging Brooks' mobile phone in October. He denied the charges. Whatever, man. Mr. Linehan co-wrote Father Ted. Yes, yes! The correct reporting co-wrote Father Ted. Author and campaigner J.K. Rowling claimed the arrest was totalitarianism and deplorable. Extremely funny, right? Extremely funny that J.K. Rowling, the only time that she notices Graham Linehan is when he's arrested and his bail conditions are that he cannot tweet. Shadow Cabinet Minister Claire Coutinho said, Britain used to be known for its sense of humor. Now the police are arresting people for making jokes. Yeah, man. It's always jokes, right? Fascists are always saying, yeah, it's just a joke. All right, let's see what he said on the Joe Rogan show. This is probably also about him. Graham Linehan details backlash he received after criticizing trans ideology.
My original offense was, I think, sharing a piece by a feminist named Heather Brunskill Evans.
Not a feminist.
I was actually getting surgery for cancer at the time. And someone wrote back and said, I wish the cancer had won. And this was like sharing a very, very mild piece that just basically...
No, I don't think that's true at all, dude. I think a mild piece to Graham Linehan, who has said you should assault trans women if you see them in a bathroom. I do not think that it would have been a mild criticism of trans people whatsoever. This motherfucker would not last a minute in a trans person's shoes. A minute.
Mild piece that just basically said women deserve rights.
I guarantee you didn't say that.
But the strangest thing was all my friends and colleagues. They just completely ignored what was happening to me.
This is the thing about fascists nowadays. Fascists and bigots nowadays have been so emboldened that all they care about is walking into a room and saying the most offensive and disgusting thing whilst looking the most disgusting and offensive and probably smelling the same that they possibly can. Like, that is what fascists are nowadays. They're like, huh, are you triggered? They'll come in and they'll just say like every slur imaginable and be like, huh, you're so triggered. Oh, you feeling okay, bro? Hey, PBP. Yeah, it's also easy to trigger them. This is the thing. Like, they are triggered by the fact that people are winning fights against Zionism. People are winning fights against racism. People are winning fights against transphobia all over the world. All of this stuff, this like horrific amalgamation into possibly the final level of neoliberalism and fascism and capitalism. That's what it feels like to me, and it's becoming just like the most disgusting, gross, offensive shit that you could possibly imagine in your entire life, and I think there'll be nothing to come back from after that, because it will be all documented all over the internet. At the very least, it will be documented in places like Cuba, places where there have already been revolutions, places where there are already social revolutions and socialist policies working for the people of those countries. Ron DeSantis defends decision to remove Pulse Crosswalk by saying drivers who disagree could be incentivized to drive recklessly. And that's the whole thing, right? It's like they're just obsessed with like being the most offensive possible. And Ron DeSantis is a great example of that in what you're saying, like trying to get rid of the Pulse nightclub crosswalk that is literally not even the full colors of the pride flag. And then queer young people were like, no, we're going to color it back in. And now he's like, no, we're going to get rid of it. We have to get rid of it. This is a memorial for horrible, degenerate, queer people who are groomers or whatever the his ideology is about queer people, about what we're like, and the dead siblings of ours at Pulse nightclub, right? And it is the most disgusting, offensive thing that you could possibly do. We don't care about these dead queer people who were killed by people who like us. All the while, social policy is just out the window. There is no help and support for people in Miami unless you're rich. There's no help and support for people in Florida as a state unless you're rich. You don't get anything. You don't get no help. You don't get no healthcare. You're paying a high fucking rent. You can't afford groceries. You're working 3 jobs. But it's really important that we are the most disgusting and the most offensive that we could possibly be.
Lots of these people famous, you know? Not a single person stood up for me.
Chat, the crazy thing about this, there is a bit in Father Ted about this, exactly this. Father Ted wins Priest of the Year award. When he gets the reward, he goes up to do his speech.
I see some familiar faces here today. Some welcome, some not so welcome. It looks as if I've had the last laugh, and a lot of people who really didn't think I had it in me to become a brilliant priest. What I say to those people is, look at me now.
Glinner is doing the fucking Father Ted bit. He's literally like, none of these people stood up for me. Look at me now. I'm on the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm Britain's most wanted man.
They just completely ignored what was happening to me.
People rightfully criticized me because I did wrong, and everyone else said nothing. Right?
Not a single person stood up to say, "Hey, I know Graham Linehan. He's not a bigot."
No one said that because you are a bigot. That's the thing.
Made lots of these people famous. Not a single person stood up for me, and the next thing that happened was that a sex offender and kind of serial litigant in the UK, he reported me to the police, sued me on the same weekend.
He's talking about, what's his face? He's talking about, oh my God. He can get taken to court for this again. He's a fucking idiot. He's talking about the guy who he called a paedophile, like a cisgender gay man who was standing up for trans people on Twitter, and Glinner was like, this guy is clearly a paedophile. He got taken to court and lost for saying that. And now he's on Joe Rogan saying like, yeah, this guy's a sex offender. Are you joking me, bro? You are a fucking idiot. His fucking solicitor's gonna be like, I can't believe this. A minute into this clip and he's like completely defaming this guy that he lost the court case against. He's just describing the guy.
For 8 years.
And the same thing that he said. 8 years. He's like talking about the time frame and everything. This is mental. This is fucking mental. I can't believe this.
Had women in prison cells overnight, I mean,
what?
It's
what do you mean?
So,
no, he hasn't. What are you fucking talking about? This guy is going to court in like a week to talk about this thing. And he went on Joe Rogan and was clearly transphobic. The fucking prosecution will say to this, in the cross-examination, they will say, okay, Graham, you don't believe that the defendant is a woman, do you? No. Okay. All of this, yeah, you said all this, you're on Joe Rogan, and you said this, yeah, and you also said that she did this, yeah, okay, all these things mean that you're a transphobe, all these things mean that you hate trans women, you hate trans people, don't you? No, I don't. Yeah, you do, because we've just said it, we've just confirmed it all, and look, here's the evidence. And the judge and the jury can see it. Right, you're harassing this person because of a protected characteristic. Even the Supreme Court has that protected characteristic stuff still in there. At this point, anyway, it might change in the next couple of days. Who fucking knows? But maybe they could refer to a previous bit of the law that he did that at the time that the law was still like that.
That destroyed my name, thanks to The Guardian.
No, it was already done, dude. What do you mean?
And after that, I couldn't get anyone to speak to me. Like, I mean...
so confusing. But now he's talking about The Guardian, who are talking to him about... who are reporting on the fact that he's been harassing a trans woman.
Big in the UK, but in Ireland, it's a bit of a national institution. It allowed the Irish to laugh at the Catholic Church, which for years had a sort of oppressive effect over the Irish, so they weren't able to laugh at it.
Here's what I'm going to say about this, man. I didn't grow up in Ireland, so I can't really speak for the people of Ireland on the church. I know the Catholic Church in Ireland is horrible and has done horrible and abusive things. If Father Ted has done stuff like that for the Irish people, it is not because of Graham Linehan. Graham Linehan is out here being like, I should be a hero in Ireland. Meanwhile, not realizing that he is echoing the thing that he was taking the piss out of with all the other people who helped make Father Ted. Arthur Matthews is the other guy that wrote the show with him. A bunch of other people created the show. Ardlo Hanlon, Dermot Morgan. It's like, no, it was me. I liberated the Irish from Catholic oppression. And that's why everyone should be fine with my transphobia. It's crazy to say that.
And suddenly Father Ted came out and it was a great kind of release to be able to laugh at silly things.
I think it's crazy as a creator to be talking about something that you've made like this, right? He's doing great man theory to himself. To be honest, before his transphobia, I didn't know who he was. This is the thing, right? To me, this is what all of this stinks of. It stinks of a deeply, deeply insecure man who thinks that he did and created a huge, great thing. And in fact, Sure, it was a great show. I loved it. It was part of my childhood. It doesn't really, it actually has like an anti-racist messaging. It also has like pro-acceptance messages in there, queer acceptance, shit like that. Like, it takes the piss out of the church for being like Graham Linehan, a bigot, right?
It kind of chipped away at the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church just kind of lost a lot of power in Ireland.
Oh my God, he's actually saying that Father Ted. God, I can't believe it.
So I thought in Ireland I would be at least understood and listened out.
Right. Here's what he's saying. He's admitting, he's going, I have delusions of grandeur, and I thought that people in Ireland would believe those delusions of grandeur. I think that I was hoping that people in Ireland would also be delusional and excuse my bigotry. This is crazy. What the fuck is he talking about?
And all of the Irish media has just pretend I've died. They just pretend I've died.
People just don't want to see you, dude.
People online would do fake screenshots of me apologizing for sending my pictures of my genitalia to women on a forum.
Oh, that's funny as hell, man. Right, transphobia is such a blessing to misogynistic piece of shit men. They can pretend that they are standing up for women's rights while also being a piece of shit misogynist creep. And that is exactly what Graham Linehan stinks of. And he probably stinks of other things as well, like that smell that you get when you've had your watch on for too long.
And so I lost 400,000 followers in a few months. And then we went into COVID.
And I started posting loads, and it was making it really better. Me posting during COVID was making things so much better for my reputation. By the way, at the end of 2020 is when I got my account banned for saying that I was having sex with his wife.
This connects me with Alex Jones. Do you know this?
No.
This is wild, man, because Joe Rogan doesn't even like Alex Jones. Is Graham Linehan going to be like, hey, Alex Jones thinks I'm cool?
And I did it to show that men were joining these apps, and they would, some of them would put on a bit of lipstick, but most of them they would look like you or me.
What actually happened, Graham Linehan, who is not a trans woman, has never called himself a trans woman ever, has never said that he's trying to be a trans woman, went on there pretending to be a trans woman, and then posted it to everyone. Didn't get any matches, by the way. Didn't get any matches whatsoever. And I think the first time that this ever came out, someone was like, Graham Linehan has just showed up on my Her app with lipstick on, and they posted a picture of him and was like, what the f*** is this? And he was like, ha ha ha, triggered. TERF men found other TERF men on the app and were like, see? Ugh, it's just crazy. I went on a lesbian app and I did the thing that I said is happening to prove that people are doing it, although I have no proof of other people doing it and only proof of me doing it and other TERF men.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan can only say Jesus Christ because he knows that the social contract is that he has to accept this guy into his movement. Because Joe Rogan is a transphobe as well. The social contract between fascists is, I don't care how unlikable this guy is. I don't care. Look at Joe Rogan, man. Joe Rogan is the picture perfect of what fascists want to be. Hench, white guy, bald, loads of testosterone, bit of a beard. I'm a dad. I've got guns. I'm straight, veritable ubermensch of the populist fascist shit in America, right? And Graham Linehan is like a degenerate. Like, that's how they would see him. In the fucking like hierarchy of the world that they live in, these guys are not high up there. And again, like, he's embarrassing. Like, everything that he's saying is embarrassing. He's like, oh, no one likes me. No one's my friend. No one fucking sticks up for me. Wah. He's a loser. Trump would never speak to him. Not in a million years. And it's probably why J.K. Rowling doesn't speak to him either, because J.K. Rowling probably looks at Donald Trump and goes, yeah, I want to be like him. He doesn't ever speak to losers. Graham Linehan is a loser.